Sweating to the truth, nothing but the truth. Put my hands on the Bible, y'all point me to the booth. Sweating to the truth. Yo, new season, new colors, new merch, new swag. Go over to CASHAPP and get in your bag with our latest gear. I promise you won't be disappointed. Rep the kingdom, I rock in his image. Every order and purchase goes into helping me bring you better content. And so every order and purchase is greatly appreciated. We thank you for the support, and as always, peace and love. Yo, what's going on with it, man? So we got a good one for you today, bro. So my guy, Chuck Littleton, bro, went on somebody podcast, I don't know whose it is, and went on there and straight obliterated the opposition, bro. I'm talking about wasn't even, had them boys like this. So much truth was spoken out of this man's mouth. He talked about the racial divide and who really caused it and what really caused it. And it's not from who and what y'all actually think it is, bro. Let's check it out.
Racism doesn't have any power.
Chuck, I don't agree with that. People were outwardly racist while Trump was in office. He gave them white people.
Like who?
He made it comfortable for people to be outwardly racist about how they feel. Chuck,
no, he didn't.
The climate was a lot different.
Studies came out about the racial divide trending in the wrong direction in 2013 when Barack Obama was entering his second term, when the Black Lives Matter movement jumped off. Let's not make it seem like Donald Trump led to this big increase in the racial schism in this country. That happened under Barack Obama. Since we want to go there,
but did it happen?
Since we want to go, it happened. Yes, it did happen. Yeah. We talk about one-way aggression. You allowed to be openly racist towards one particular group of people, and it's white people. Let's call a spade a spade.
White dudes are pussies.
White men are the issue.
White men are the biggest threat to America. They are.
You got analysts on MSNBC, CNN openly referring to Donald Trump and his voters as Nazis. Nowhere in popular media do you see white people saying the kinds of things that you see people saying about white people on national television, from Joy Reid, Trevor Noah, Don Lemon, over and over again.
But Chuck,
you don't see that anywhere else.
You can't get on mainstream media and make light of other races doesn't mean that the racial climate is still not what it is. The
reason why the racial climate is what it is because that's what critical race theory seeks to do. It seeks to polarize for the purpose of finding people who are sympathetic to your cause. And you keep on dividing one group onto itself until you create a group of disenchanted, angry, dysfunctional people that you can then use for the purpose of your liberation. That's not my words. Those are the words of Herbert Marcuse himself. Anybody talking about race in this country or talking about critical race theory and have never heard the writings or the words of Herbert Marcuse, you cannot sit at this table and talk because you don't know the theory, you don't know the science.
Look, but like somebody never heard of them, but in their own eyes, they look out into the world and think, yo, that shit is fishy to me.
I don't give a damn about what you go out in the world and see.
A racial slur was spray painted on the front gate.
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is dealing with a racist
news found in the garage stall of Bubba Wallace.
See, this is all about narrative weaving and storytelling because they play upon people's emotions and how they feel. If I go to a doctor and tell a man, I feel like I'm having a heart attack, the doctor is going to run a specific set of tests to get to what is actually happening. He has to know the truth. He can't do medical procedures upon me based upon what I tell him I feel. He has to know for a fact. He has to know what he's talking about.
So he has to do a battery test.
He has to do a test because if he does the wrong treatment to me based upon what I feel, he could kill me.
Cook, young man, cook. And cook. Now, I wasn't around. I said I wasn't around. I was definitely around in 2013. I didn't know about politics in 2013. And so I wasn't aware, so to say, of the racial divide in terms of people being overtly or openly racist. Although I did know, like when it came to comedians, for instance, I've always noticed this, that comedians can get up on stage and talk about everybody, and I'm talking about badly, without getting any flack for it. But let a white person get on stage. If they talk about black folks, Like, you better walk on eggshells, or you better make them look as cool as possible. Because if you don't, they are going to call you a racist. I've always noticed that it was rules for thee, but not for me. And I've also, when I did get into politics and I heard people talking about Barack Obama, I have heard people say that things did become very polarized when he got into office.
My take on Obama was, what's the point of having a black president if he doesn't tell the country the truth about race? You have an opportunity, I mean, to really move the needle on race. And actually, race relations get worse, not better, after he serves. And my account for that was more forward-looking. It was like, he's only 58 or whatever he is when he leaves the presidency. He's going to be ex-president a lot longer than he was president. And he's got a kind of reputational management problem. He can't be that guy who pulled the cover off of the fraud, which is the racial narrative of white supremacy and structural racism, when the real story is a failure to seize opportunity opened up historically at the end of the 20th century and to take advantage of the possibilities of developing, acquiring, accumulating, building, and achieving on the part of African Americans.
And I guess I would say I would have to confirm that, because I seen it for myself in 2020. Of course, Barack Obama wasn't in office then. It was Donald Trump. But when the Black Lives Matter movement came along, people, and we talking about melanated people, were saying things like crazy, bro. You had Brittany Cooper, who was talking about take these MFers out.
I think that white people are committed to being villains in the aggregate, right? They are so corrupt. You know, their thinking is so morally and spiritually bankrupt about power. The thing I want to say to you is we got to take these motherfuckers out. But we can't say that, right?
You had people who were making montages of videos and saying why the white man was dangerous. And I mean, just, like the videos you seen in this montage. But for me, I'm like, yo, so who gonna check these people? Who's gonna call this out? Because we know what racism did some odd years ago when it was whites who hated blacks. So are we gonna let this go on? What blacks are doing now? Because we know from history what's going to happen. Like, we don't have to speculate. We know what's going to happen. When the people feels oppressed, when the people is oppressed, a lot of times you're going to have a revolt. Now, there is nobody oppressed now. I could care less what you say, how you feel. Everybody always talking about we oppressed. But when I ask that person specifically, are you oppressed? Well, I'm not oppressed. Well, I ask them the question, well, do you know a person that is oppressed? They don't ever know nobody that's oppressed. But just for some odd reason, black people are oppressed. All right, whatever. There are no people that's oppressed. Now, what they do is they paint this picture for you to make you feel as if you are. They put all this stuff on the news to make it seem as if police are targeting black people, are killing black people, but they're not doing that to any other race. They literally tell you. Lil Scrappy just came out with a video, literally saying they're not doing that to any other group of people.
If you vote for Trump, you vote for your race to get annihilated. Like, he already ready to give police total immunity. You know what I'm saying? To take us out. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're not going around killing white people.
So they literally make us feel like we're the only ones. We're the only ones that's being targeted. We're the only ones that's being stepped on, and that all these bad things are happening to us while everybody else is going off and enjoying the life of, I guess, a slave master or a privileged person. Bro, that's a lie from the pit of hell. We got so many black billionaires and millionaires now, and thousandaires and 100,000aires, that we couldn't count probably on 100 hands and toes. and probably more than that here in America. There are very many successful, wealthy, healthy black people here in America. So no. Nobody is being oppressed. But bro, yeah, the racism is crazy. And when people act like black people can't be racist or they can't be hateful, because I don't believe necessarily in racism because there's only one race. We all come from Adam and Eve. But yes, you have people of melanin being hateful towards people who don't have melanin in their skin. And it's running amok and nobody is putting a check to it. And that's where I get angry at. That's the problem for me, because I believe in being truly fair. I believe in being truly right. I don't think that we prosper as a nation by stepping on the back of another. We just end up in the same boat that we were in. So I'm telling people like, yo, I want to see us truly prosper. I want to see us truly flourish. And again, we can't do that by hating somebody else. That's hypocrisy at its finest. And a lot of melanated folk have hatred in their heart towards white people, but don't want to admit it. And that's the problem. You say black people can't be racist. Let's say hateful. Yes, you can. And it's showing. It's oozing. And people are okay with that because they see that as some sense, as he said, as some sense of liberation. We're bucking up against the oppressors. We're being rebellious towards the authoritarian. Nah, bro, you just being hateful. Because how in the world you sitting on a stack of money talking about you oppressed? Make that make sense. And if we talking about how people view us, that's a personal problem. It's not another person's problem. That's just like if somebody thought I was ugly. Bro, I can't change how you think about me. I just go on about my life. I'm not living to impress you. I'm not living for your validation. I'm not living for your approval. If you think I'm ugly, you think I'm ugly. I'm perfectly fine with that, bro. I'm made in the image of God, as we all are. It is what it is. There's some I will be attractive to, and there's others, and there's others that I won't. I'm fine with that. But at the end of the day, I gotta go on and live my life. And so if I'm worried about how a person views me, because that's really what a lot of black people be getting upset and mad about, then again, that's a personal problem. If you worried about what somebody think, if you worried about what you think somebody thinks about you, that's an even bigger issue. And now you trying to control this person's mind. And that's unbiblical. That's unconstitutional. That's demonic. That's you being a manipulator. That's you trying to coerce people. We can't worry about what folks be thinking about us. If a white person think they better than us, bro, okay, fine. Keep that over there where you at. Keep that over. You ain't got to come to me with it. I go on about my life, but we can't think that we're going to change people's hearts and minds, I guess by law or just by talking or being hateful. Bro, you just be you. You do you. You do what God has called you to do. And you may change that person's outlook or viewpoint of you or people that has your skin tone or color. But at the end of the day, it ain't my place to try to change that. I could care less what you think about me. There's good white people, there's good black people, there's good black people. There's good white people, there's bad white people. There's good black people, there's bad black people. I guarantee you this, I've had more encounters with bad black people than I have with bad white people. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, bro, like we gotta get that hate out. We gotta get that hate out of our heart, bro. Especially for some stuff that we didn't experience personally. We gotta get that hate out of our heart and forgive. For one, I don't necessarily know what we forgiving for, but if it's there, if you mad at what their ancestors did to your ancestors, then you forgive them and move on so that you can live your life. That's the only way that you can truly live your life to the fullness, is by letting that hurt, pain, and that anger go. You can't hold on. You can't hold on to something that's in the past, man. You gotta move on past. You gotta move past from that, bro. You got to, because that's holding you down. It's a weight. It's a weight. And it's killing us as a people. It's caused us to hate one another. We aborting our babies at large rates. Black on black killing is crazy. Those are the things we don't want to talk about, though. We still want to blame white supremacy because we feel like police officers and white people are our problem. No, we are our own problem. Let's keep it a buck. We are our own problem. When we address that, I guarantee you many problems within our communities will be fixed. They will be fixed. I guarantee you. Let's just try it. God dog, let's just try it. Instead of blaming white supremacy and allowing the Democrats to lead us to the promised land, which they haven't in the past 50 years, and they've been in power for the past 12 out of 16, and they've led us nowhere. Situations only seem to get worse. Let's try something different for a change. We all know the definition of insanity is to keep doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Let's try something else. Let's try accountability. Let's try calling our own out. Let's try holding ourselves. But I didn't talk enough, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comments. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Peace, love. We out.
100, 100, 100, that's all I know. Ain't taking a dime off. We working, and that for sure. Ain't taking no time off. We serving, deliver hope. Forget all that crime talk. 100, 100, 100, that's all I go. Yeah, that be what I'm